and welcome back to another video. Today we'll be making a tier list out of Cuphead, charms, weapons, and super arcs. So without further ado, let's begin. First of all, we have charge, which is a must use. No explaining to needed because it's charge. If you're part of the Cuphead community, you should know why it's there. Chaser, it exists. Like its homing functions are fine, but I don't really like the less damage it uses. Okay, coffee also exists because, well, I use it in plain levels, but only sometimes because I just use heart, which is going to be useful. I use it more times than coffee in there because I get extra heart health, but a slightly weaker, which is good. And then there's lava, which it's useful in some scenarios. I think its bounciness is what makes it so good, alongside its high damage, but its rapid fire sucks. And yeah, the bounciness makes it so you don't have to go near a boss for it to work, but obviously you have to do that if it's like a platforming thing. But even then, it drops down, so yeah, it's nice. Okay, pea sugar, I use it in some scenarios. Mostly in Phantom Express, but yeah, it's useful in some scenarios. Pea sugar sucks. If you use this like in late game, then I don't know what to say. Because you don't even need to use this, because you get 1 coin at the start of the game in the tutorial, 3 games from the NPC, and also another coin from a hidden area in the game, which makes it so you could literally buy another weapon and swap it out without needing to use this. And like literally every other weapon is better than pea shooter. Okay, Roundabout, must use. Roundabout, its boomerang function is really good, especially in fights like Ribby and Croaks, where in the second phase and stuff, because its boomerang functions means like if it misses or doesn't hit the other opponent, it could go back to hit the other opponent in the back, like in Ribby and Croak's second phase, or it could just be a really good use because, you know, its EX special is really fun to use and stuff, and it has good damage for what it is and good rapid fire. Next up is Smoke Bomb, and just like Charge, no explanation needed. No explanation at all. Okay. Spread. I use it most of the time. It's not very useful in some scenarios, but it's useful in most scenarios because it's high damage but very short range. So yeah, it's nice. Okay. Next up is Twin Heart, and it is useless. Like having a extra health point, 2 extra health points. It's nice, but weakening your attack by not just slightly, but like doing like taking away half of the damage from it. It really sucks. And really takes a long time for it to do something, especially with Chaser. if you use this and Chaser together, then you probably take more than 2 minutes to beat a boss. Okay, this one. It exists. I think it would have been more useful if you unlock it later in the game. I mean, earlier in the game. But yeah, it exists. Like, it's one of the last things you buy in Porkran's shop if you don't include the DLC items, but it exists. Okay, Astral Cookie. Most players don't use it because it's hard to understand and get used to it because you can't jump parry, but I think it's really nice. I think dash parrying is better than jump parrying. Obviously, in some scenarios, jump parrying is better than dash parrying, but I think it's really useful. Okay, the broken relic's useless. It literally does nothing. Okay, converged. This one I use most of the time because it's basically spread but more range. If you hold the aim button, it's really good. But yeah. And then there's Crack Shot, which is literally Chaser on crack. Pun intended. Okay, these, I think they exist. They aren't useless because they serve a purpose on making the game harder than it is, which I think is really nice for like the experienced players and stuff who like don't even take a damage in like Jimmy the Great and stuff, who S rank Dr. Carl's robot every single playthrough and stuff. So I think that's a really nice addition, like a hard mode. And I also think the boss fight to get at these are really creative and fun. Next up we have Heart Ring. It's useful in some scenarios. It's really, yeah. I only ever used it once though. Also, and that was using a glitch. And the glitch is basically with Miss Chalice and Chef Saltbaker. When fighting Chef Saltbaker, you have to use the Astral Cookie first, then die to him, then change it to this without leaving the map, and then because, in the background of the game, in the battle, you have Cuphead or Mugman's soul in it, in the jar, because you're playing as Miss Chalice, so so then I think the game, so that the game doesn't make it so that there's like two Cupheads or Mugmans, it makes it so that you play as Miss Chalice too, as well as using the other charm. But it might have been patched already, and I don't know if you could use it in other fights. But yeah. Next up we have Miss Chalice Super Arc 1. It's useful in some scenarios, but I don't really use it that much. Okay. Super Arc 2 for Miss Chalice. It's useful in some scenarios, like gaining an extra health point without using the parry ring and stuff, and having no limit besides having to use the super arc in the first place. I think it's really nice. It's basically the heart ring, but it's a super arc and better somewhat. I don't know. So yeah. Okay, Ghostly Barrage. Super Arc 3 for Michelis. I use most of the time because, you know, it's basically Super Arc 1 for Cuphead, but cooler, and also adds parrying, the parry spear. So it's good. It's nice. Next up we have Super Arc 1, which is also I use most of the time. And then we have Super Arc 2, which it exists. I don't know, I feel like it's just the invincibility lasts too short. I don't know, like it's a decent amount, but I don't know. It exists. And then we have Super Arc 3, which is useless. I mostly get damaged when using this because it's basically you send a buff ghost Cuphead or Mugman and at the boss or enemy, and basically its movements are the same as yours. But the problem with that is that you want to be moving, you want the super arc to hit the enemy, which can also lead to you getting hit because you aren't paying attention to your character, or you get hit by stage hazard, that like in Sally's stage play with the umbrella, or you just don't get them hit in the first place. Then we have Twist Up, which I feel like is a worse lobber. So basically, lobber, I think the main problem with Twist Up is, unlike lobber, it doesn't bounce. Because, so you want to go close to it if you want it to do damage, unless it's a flying enemy. So, well, it does shoot 3 at a time, but it's basically spread now, but worse because it does average damage and not better damage than spread. So yeah, that's my Cuphead tier list. From useless to it exists, useful in some scenarios, used most of the time, and must use. What are your opinions on each weapon, charm, and super arc? Anyways, bye bye.